Oil and Bitcoin, that is what we have to talk about. The market is a little bit red, but that is absolutely fine so far. Yesterday on the show, I explained how I believe Bitcoin is going to go to the 70,000 plus region and then potentially have a rejection. That is what we're seeing right now. This is what I drafted yesterday, and that is seemingly happening now. There is a very, very risky formation that happened here, a new low created with a new high, so we're going to discuss that. But at the same time, I am, as I said, I am actually in a Bitcoin long position, so I have this open up by $2.7 thousand. Whether to close it, not close it, we're gonna discuss that. And also, as yesterday on the show, the same show, I explained how I believe oil will have to come a little bit lower under 77,000. That is what happened. We had this week down to 75, and I have actually taken an oil long position. I'll let you know about it, mostly because of the escalation. So these are the two things that we have to discuss today: oil and Bitcoin, how I'm trading them, what is actually happening. Very short update, as always. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏. I don't waste your time. This is why I'm speaking fast. This is why I'm just giving you all the information in 5 to 10 minutes every single day. You can just come here, whether it's oil, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto trading. It's all about making money trading. Subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notifications on, and join in on the community. There is a link in the description. And the reason why we call the 100x Club, if you don't know that, is because if you make 4% a month trading, which is nothing, accumulated over 10 years is 100x your net worth. Let's get going. So, oil prices yesterday surged. So very, very important about oil, right? I want to start with oil because everything is driven by oil. If oil is going up, risk gas is going down. If oil is going down, risk assets are going up. Seemingly, Bitcoin doesn't seem to be acting that way. It moves with oil, but this is the ultimate discussion, obviously, because of the escalation in the war. It's very, very important. I explained on the video yesterday, and you've seen it if you haven't watched it, but I explained how oil always came back 50%. So I literally, you can just look back how oil always just took, you can take the lows to the highs, and you can see how oil every single time comes back to 50. Every single time, 50%. So it goes up 50%, goes up 50%, goes up 50%, goes up 50%. And even here, like even if I look here, the 50% just actually happened. So even though that this was seemingly, you know, there was no 50%. This is why I cautioned you or told you not to long, or why I was not longing, because I was waiting for this to come lower. And as this little flag has been forming here, a liquidity zone has been forming here, I said, when we have a flush and if I see a 15-minute market structure shift, I am going to long. Very important. Every day, I'm here. If this sounds foreign to you, come back for a week and then decide. If it's, you know, because every single video is on top of each other. This is how I designed them. Maybe this doesn't make any sense because yesterday you weren't here. Catch up, come every day, and I promise you it will make sense. So yesterday I said that this will have to have a flush out, and this is what happened just now. Came back, and guess what happened? Exactly what I thought was going to happen is I wanted to see a 15-minute market structure shift, which happened. And not even that, but then what did I say about oil? Always comes back 50%. Look what happened. Not only that I got the entry here at the market structure shift, I could have gotten, I was actually sleeping, but I could have gotten this entry as well. It came back 50 and now is moving to new highs. So oil is definitely something that I do think can rally. Now there's a lot of things that we need to discuss. But ultimately, the whole discussion and the reason why this market structure shift happened is because there were not necessarily rumors, but there was intelligence saying that Iran is deploying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, which would obviously be horrible because they have 2,000 to 6,000 mines in the water. I mean, it could be deployed in the water, and that could blow the ships, and that would basically just completely close the Strait of Hormuz. Not just like, can they go with responders or not? It would be just no go. The U.S. forces, Trump comes out immediately after, obviously have to control oil, and comes out and says, U.S. forces have destroyed 10 mine-laying boats in and around Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. Then they come out and they say, U.S. Navy escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz, which immediately gets debunked. You know, they are making, the Iranians are seemingly winning. You know, they are making fun of the Americans. They're like, did it happen on PlayStation, or like, what's happening? This is actually a spokesperson for the parliament of Iran. So it's, he's not just no one. Past 30 minutes have been wild. Caroline comes out and he says, oh no, actually, yes, we said that there was ships, going through, but it's not ships being escorted, but it's not really happening. And not only that it's not happening, but the ships are refusing the request because they say that it is too high risk for them. So there is none of that shit happening, and that obviously doesn't help if there are mines being planted in the Strait of Hormuz. The US is lying about whether there is escorts going through, escorted ships going through or not. And then all that combined with this oil situation comes in the IAE, which is like a coalition of these big nations, mostly European nations, that they don't have oil to run on. Like they need to have a situation sorted here and have to have a plan, and they obviously have massive reserves. I think it's like 1.2 billion barrels. Yes, it says here 1.2 billion reserves what they have, and they are planning on doing the largest unlock that they had. Last time it was 2022, 182 million barrel. And then I just came out and I made this post on X, which by the way, if you don't follow, link in the description. But I made this post and I said the Strait of Hormuz has been closed for 11 days. 20 million barrels of oil flow through it per day. When it's closed, 660 million barrels. Let's take it out of circulation. 660 million barrels. That's a shit ton of barrels. Even if the IEA doubles its 2022 record release from 182 million to 364, meaning they just simply released double what has ever been released from the reserves, it's still only half of the monthly supply shortfall. Not to mention that, as I said, they don't have oil. It's not like that they release it so, you know, they can equal out no, it's like they have to use this. They have to have a solution. So even if they come out, there will be a decision today happening. Even if the decision is that they are going to release 300 million barrels, I don't think that they can do more. It's already 30% of what they have. But even if that happens, maybe there will be a little bit of spike down in oil, but ultimately it doesn't change nothing because they have 100 days of oil stock, and basically that's about it. So I told you in the community that I have taken this long position. I've posted the chart. This is why it's worth joining it. Again, top of the description, because getting there is free. I let you know about anything that happens. This is why it's super cool, because you can just, it's also in the pinned comments, but also in the description, because I can't come here every single time, but I can post the trades. And I said, here's what I'm doing, and this is what I'm expecting on oil, as I explained. So I do believe that the hourly market structure shift has to happen. If that happens, that is happening at 88.7. This is the WTI. You can also look at crude oil. It's a little bit higher on crude if you take it on another exchange, but ultimately you can trade it on 𝗬𝗎𝗑. I have taken it on 𝗬𝗎𝗑. It's the ticker is XTI. This is the WTI crude oil ticker on 𝗬𝗎𝗑. And I've taken this trade, and I ultimately do believe that you can just go up and once we have the 1 hour market structure shift, which is going to happen most likely to that $88, $88.9, we'll see. There can be the IEA news that maybe flushes it down a little bit and then ultimately sends it higher. I would not be surprised. My next target for oil is back up here. Like I'm looking at $100, which is like a 20% trade on oil, which is, you know, not Bitcoin, not a shitcoin, not a meme coin. So I do believe this is going to be amazing. I have taken on WTI, I have taken a stop loss at 75.5. I actually put it at 75 just to be safe if, you know, any wicks happen or whatever. Again, you can trade it on 𝗬𝗎𝗑, as you see. 𝗬𝗎𝗑 is a non-KYC exchange, by the way, registered in Singapore. They're very cool. I know the people there, and we do have a massive promotion running, so you can go down in the description and you can get a massive sign-up bonus as well. Check out in the description and check them out. We are going to have some cool stuff coming with them as well, an event with me. So it's worth signing up, taking advantage of the bonus, and also trading on there, as you can see, oil, Bitcoin, or whatnot. But let's jump into Bitcoin, because there is another position that I have running this. I told you that I have closed 50% of the Bitcoin long position. So I had this open and I actually realized $600. I told you about all this in the community. I still have some of that. Open. The question is, what should happen? Should I close it or not? This is also the same on Bitfunded. Well, here's my take on Bitcoin, right? I do believe that if you look at the market, what I was concerned yesterday, and I told you about this, is this. I was concerned that we're going to come back up here and we're going to see a rejection from that higher time frame order block. The reason why I was concerned, and it literally just came up to that order block and rejected, is because if you look at the 4-hour chart, there is a close below the previous low, and therefore this would qualify as a market structure shift, the shift in the trend, meaning the trend was higher high and higher low, and now we have a lower low, and after a higher high, there should be a lower low coming in, and this is what we're seeing playing out here in a higher time frame. Could potentially be. Now, obviously, this is not an impulsive close below. It can be just a fake out, whatever it might be. And also, Bitcoin has been very strong. So ultimately, I do think we should hold. But this level is a little bit confusing because there are 3 consecutive candles here, actually 4 consecutive red candles on this bottom, and then a close above. So there is not only 4 consecutive candles, but then there is a close above the one that created the 4 consecutive candles. So this here is a market structure break, a continuation to the upside. So if this level was to break 69,265, that is an utterly big problem, okay? So if I look here, it's the exact same scenario with the total market cap, where the total market cap retraced back to the 50% level. So you can look at this here. This is the 50% leg. It retraced to the 50% leg here. And if we have a rejection here, that's a market structure shift, and I have to close my position. I just have to, because I'm definitely closing the 2-bit position. So I'm definitely closing this. I will update you in the community if I'm going to close the Bitfunded. Obviously, Bitfunded is a prop firm. You can get a $150,000 account. I did that, and I want to just go with it. I don't think I need to close that. The low is 60,000. I mean, if I look at Bitcoin, I don't really think that we're going to get down to the 60s. So I might leave the Bitfunded on, but the scalp trade that I've taken here, probably I will close that. Now, it can happen that it just comes back to the 50 and then moves from there. It can happen, but I just don't want to take the gamble, especially with all the shit that we've been through and all the shit that's been happening. So just pay attention. TLDR, I am long oil. Next up, I do believe is 88, and then I do believe it's 100, and I'm also long Bitcoin if we break below 69,265, or we break below the 234 trillion on the total market cap. I have to close my scalp position. I am going to do that, and I will consider closing my position on Bitfunded. Join in the community. There's a link in the description. Please do that. It's for your benefit. Pin it on the Telegram so you have it on the top. Turn the notifications on. Subscribe to the channel. Come back tomorrow as well. We do this every single day. And check out 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗘 and the sign-up bonuses. And stay safe. Survival. That's the important part. Check out this AMD, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.